Okay, in the last video, I did mention Michael Tracy, who is a former TYT contributor. And I think one of the better apples left on the progressive left, or whatever you want to call that. And he actually brought, and this I saw afterward, and I should already be going, but I did want to not forget about this. Jack Smith IV is a journalist for a former journalist now for Mike, and I'll show you his face just so you can know who I'm talking about. He is basically the quintessential SJW. This guy. He is basically, there is literally nobody who better encompasses that identity than him. He has these videos where he speaks very snarkily about how the right wing is distorting literally everything, and they're racist, blah blah blah. Well, he's gone. He's out at the Mike, Mike.com. It says, so Tracy says, yesterday Jack Smith IV was accused of offenses explicitly described as existing in a gray area. Let's see if he's removed it from his... Here he says, journalist, writer covering fascism, nationalism, white supremacy, union thug, incredibly online. Within hours, he was publicly disowned by his union and fired. Well, good thing you have a union. I'm sorry, but there is something wrong with this process. The conduct of the union, the @Mike union, is especially galling. Instead, instantly they abandoned any pretense of member protection. In less than 24 hours, management took the cue and he was terminated. What was the point of joining in the first place? What's the point in joining any union? Then there's a question of whether Smith's emotionally manipulative conduct warranted a months-long intensive investigation. He might be a total ass in his private affairs, but the key phrase there is, quote, private affairs. Why does the entire internet need to scrutinize this? A minor online journalist's bad relationships don't rise to the level of national journalistic concern. He might be a genuinely bad person. Inflicting emotional harm on a romantic partners is bad, but it's also extremely common. These standards are not workable. So I think I'm not going to dispute what Michael Tracy says. I think he's correct. I think he largely agrees with me on how this translates to other things like the Kavanaugh nomination. The fact is that if you're a piece of crap off hours, then nobody needs to care when you come into the office. And I hope people are aware that, unless you're doing things that are criminal in nature. Of course, people, let's say you're doing things like obviously smuggling invasive plants into the country that would ruin our ecosystem. Let's pick an extreme example. That would be bad. I don't think it's good. And you should be reported for trying to ruin our ecosystem. But I don't think that things like this are necessary in order to create a successful a healthy workplace. So according to the HuffPost, it says Jack Smith IV, a senior writer covering the extremist right for Mike, it should be extreme, not extremist, has been terminated after multiple women accused him of emotional abuse, manipulation, and coercive sex. Mike canceled Smith's contract, a spokesperson for the site told HuffPost on Tuesday. Smith was suspended in July amid an internal investigation relating to alleged mistreatment of women, according to a Jezebel article published on Monday. He was allowed to return to his job after an internal review found no evidence that Jack had behaved improperly at Mike. So maybe he's back already. Executive News Director Carrie Lauerman told Jezebel on September 18th. But Monday's Jezebel report details what Lauerman described as multiple disturbing allegations. So he'd been suspended, and so now he's officially out the door. All these women accused Smith of behavior they variously describe as emotional abuse, manipulation, and gaslighting. And that's kind of difficult to define. Wrote Jezebel direct editor-in-chief Julianne Escobedo Shepard. 3 of these women say independently of one another that these tactics led to coercive sex. Lauerman sent a message to Mike's staff Monday night An update from the leadership team because of the multiple disturbing allegations made in this story against Jack Smith. We have terminated our contract with him effective immediately. This is not a decision we have taken lightly, and we'll have more to say in the coming days, but wanted to let the staff know of our decision tonight. Given the nature, please feel free to reach out with questions or concerns in the meantime. The Jezebel article quotes women who had relationships with Smith. One, Erica Kay, said Smith employed tactics of control and manipulation and refused to have sex with her unless she wore eye makeup. This is ridiculous. So, look, maybe we'll cover some of this more tomorrow, but it just illustrates perfectly. It illustrates, let's see if there's some comments on this. I want some fucking comments on this. It just shows how stupid the standards are today. I think that this guy is a piece of shit. I don't like Jack Smith, and but you know, he's basically living through the exact environment that him and his type have created, and it couldn't have happened to a nicer person. But it still isn't right. It still isn't correct. This is the same type of crap that I find having to, you know, work against, even with regards to Keith Ellison, who I think is just garbage. You know, if you, unless you have proof of your allegations, and unless your allegations, you know, illustrate like an actual crime, or I keep using the word illustrate, unless your allegations implicate the person for a crime, I don't think that anybody should care. I really don't. I'm sorry. You know, these people might be douchebags, and you might not have a good workplace relationship with them, and or you know, in the case of Ellison's, you know, ex-girlfriend, yes, you might well have endured physical abuse. You still have to prove it. He still has the you know, he still should be able to face his accuser and be entitled to the presumption of innocence, even if he is a piece of shit and a complete liar, just like this Jack Smith guy. So that's about it. I'm going to head off. Have a good Wednesday. Please like, subscribe to my other channel, Razor Ray Live Wounds, and comment when this uploads.